International students flock to Perth every year, but who's there to meet them at the airport, or who's there to support them with healthcare and accommodation, etc. There's a service in Perth, it's completely free, and it's called Mate in Oz. And I spoke today with the CEO and founder, who was once an international student himself, and found out how he can help other people.
I came up with the idea because when I came to Australia as an international student myself, and it was very difficult for me to settle in. I had a lot of financial issues while I was at university, and that was paying the fees, and so I had to kind of find a way of making things happen for myself. I've pretty much gone through everything that an international student can go through, and it was the toughest 3.5 years of my life. I got through it, and I was better for it. I was extremely happy. Even now, it's allowed me to start and operate this business. There's nobody that's solely looking after international students. The universities do that, but it's fragmented. So each university has an international student office, but they don't necessarily do the same thing. So we have a standard across the board. This is how we service all the international students from any country, any institution, any university. For anybody, when you go to a new place, it's very difficult to settle in. You want to find new friends, you want to know how to get by, and you also have a bit of anxiety because you're going to be here for the next 3 or 4 years, and you're trying to figure out how that's going to work for you. From our perspective, when you come into Australia, we already have a laid out plan for what it will take for you to succeed. You've got to fill in the blanks with what your expectations are of Australia. When you come in, we'll pick you up from the airport, which is top priority for when you arrive to a new place. You figure out how you're going to get from the airport to where you're going to live. Once we've got you into temporary accommodation, we help you find your permanent accommodation. All the services we provide are free, by the way, and it's only a 3-4 minute application process. We know what university you're going to, and we can line up a few properties for you to have a look at once you've arrived in Perth. And then from there, the next couple of days we'll take you through the properties that are close to your university or that you prefer to live in. And then the universities do an orientation service, but we also provide a practical orientation, which is based on showing you all the places that you need to know within your area and some of the social places that you might want to have a look at depending on what your interests are. Obviously you need banking services, migration services, travel services, job services, certification services, even from just medical, even those things. You have a toothache and all of a sudden it costs you $700 to fix it. We try to make sure they're aware of the things that can happen to help them mitigate those issues. We have a group of students that are in need of assistance. From a corporate social responsibility perspective, they are students in Perth. Most of them end up staying in Perth. So if we can give them a good grounding, most of the international students, I was an international student, I worked for the Australian government, I worked for Serco on the Fiona Stanley Hospital project. I worked for Siemens on the Fiona Stanley Hospital project. I've worked for HBF and all in procurement. My experience as an international student helped me to get to where I needed to be. It could have been better had I had help. We're trying to create an ecosystem that provides everything that a student will need as soon as they get here. And they need to know that most of what they need to do is basically from within themselves. So we provide them with what they need. They need to take that opportunity. A lot of them come in quite naive. So it's a different culture over here. You've got to first adapt to the culture, and then you've got to adapt to the landscape. If you've arrived from Africa, Africa clearly doesn't look like this from a transport perspective. Basically, we've interacted with most of the agents around Perth and the ones that bring international students here. We work with the universities because we've got about 270 students signed up with us at the moment. It's free for them, and all we seek is corporate sponsorship. And obviously, with the labour hire perspective of it, we're moving towards a self-sustaining model. And that's it. So if we can cover our operational costs, there is no catch. We're here to help international students. Oh, well, they can reach us on our website, which is www.mateinoz.com. And once we have your details, we'll contact you and then we can set up an appointment to have a discussion.
I'm Angela Albuquerque for Undercurrent.